Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Disney's movie, Hocus Pocus 1 and 2. But before we begin, if you don't want to smell like the Sanderson sisters and want to smell good when you're out and about, you should check out the channel's very first sponsor, Scentbird. For those of you who don't know, Scentbird is a fragrance monthly subscription service that provides you with access to endless fragrances. Scentbird lets you choose a new designer fragrance to try every month for just $17 a month. Every month you get to pick the fragrance you want to receive. They have perfumes and colognes and a lot of unisex options. With each fragrance, you get a 30-day supply, so you can try out the fragrance before committing to a full-size bottle that could be pricey. For those of you who only like the high-end stuff like Gucci, Prada, and Versace, Scentbird got you covered too, as they have a wide variety of designer fragrances in stock. I usually don't do sponsored videos, but Scentbird is great, and they showed that they really supported my channel. Plus, my wife Dee actually already subscribes to Scentbird, and she loves it. The wonderful people over at Scentbird actually sent me 3 of their scents: Pegasus by Parfum de Marly Paris, The Hedonist by Ex Nihilo, and the Vadvier and Oak by Scents of the Wood. My favorite one by far out of these 3 is Pegasus. It has such a smooth, fresh smell. I definitely see myself reordering it. Scentbird aren't cheap with the amount of fragrance you get either. They send these generous sized vials in these unique cases that honestly look great and are easy to use. I honestly recommend Scentbird, as I believe is a better way to get your fragrance at the right price sent directly to your door. You can try a new scent every month and you're not stuck with the same smell until your $200 bottle runs out. So if you're interested in getting Scentbird, make sure you use code TRUEFIZ at checkout to get 55% off your first order. Make sure you hit the link in the description. I want to give a special thank you to the Scentbird team for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. Now, let's get right into it. Disney is known for making magical movies and TV shows that kids have loved for years. I myself used to love watching Disney as a child, and I am sure many of you did as well. All of Disney movies and TV shows were full of magic and excitement, the things that interest children the most. Movies about witches, warlocks, fairies, and demons are what most of Disney movies and TV shows were about. To the average parent, allowing their children to watch Disney is a no-brainer, as Disney makes child-friendly content. But is that really the case? On this channel, we have spoken about Disney on several occasions, and we have proven Disney has Masonic ties. Walt Disney, the founder of the company, was a member of the Masonic Demolay organization for young boys, as he grew up in a Masonic family. As we already know, the Masons are into ritual magic and the occult. This is why we see Disney incorporate the occult, magic, and rituals in just about all their shows and movies. Disney is promoting the Masonic order. Disney is normalizing their young audience to the world of the occult. Most of their movies glorify occult practices, painting them in a good light, teaching children about magic. This is exactly what we see in the Disney hit movie Hocus Pocus. Hocus Pocus was one of the movies I saw often as a child. As a child, the movie was funny and spooky, but I never really understood it as I was too young. But when I watched the movie a few years later, my mind was blown on just how open the movie was with the occultic imagery. The first Hocus Pocus movie was about a group of witches who sucked the souls out of children. What made this movie so terrifying to me as a kid is that my mother would tell me stories about witches in her home country. My mom used to tell me that where she was from, witches would steal children and use them for their rituals. My mom even told me that many of these witches will get caught and face a very similar fate to the Sanderson sisters. The Hocus Pocus movie literally starts with the 3 witches using a little girl for a ritual offering. They sacrifice her and suck her soul so that the witches can become younger. In the movie, we can see the witches using a real spellbook that has a Masonic eye right on it. The book is made out of human skin, very similar to Lovecraft's Book of the Dead. The Book of the Dead, just like the Book of Spells in Hocus Pocus, was made from human skin and written in blood. In the movie, the witches are using the spellbook to cast spells and steal souls. One of the spells they use is a sacrifice ritual spell that allows them to steal souls of children and harvest their life force. As we can see, they showed the little girl dressed in white, which, like I said before, represents an innocent soul being offered. Just off the first few minutes of the movie, it's easy to see the theme of this movie isn't very child-friendly. Some of you might think that it's just a movie, but in reality, things like this happen in real life. I have spoken about the UK cult that was caught using children for their ritual magic for years. Occultists want people to believe ritual offerings are a myth, but time and time again, we see otherwise. Many occultists believe children provide special power for their rituals, So the theme of this movie is actually pretty terrifying. Disney somehow got away with making such a disturbing movie for children with no one showing any real pushback. It just shows how manipulated Disney has the consumers. Something else I found very interesting regarding Sarah Jessica Parker, who plays one of the witches in the movie, is that she actually comes from a bloodline of real witches that traces all the way back to the Salem witch trials. I can assure you this wasn't done by coincidence. They purposely chose a real witch to play the role of a witch in their movie. In my opinion, all the women who played the witches in this movie are Masonic puppets as well. Another part of the movie we need to talk about is when they show the witches using music to hypnotize the town people. The witches put a spell on the townspeople using music and had the townspeople under their control. This is the truth in plain sight. On this channel, I have mentioned how music is magic, how the music industry is using music to manipulate the masses. The movie makes it clear as day. The witches use music to control the townspeople and force them to do whatever the witches desired. In the movie, the witches are singing "I Put a Spell on You," showing exactly what they're doing. In the movie, we also see them show candle magic. They show the use of the full moon and a black flame candle for their rituals. In the movie, we see it's a black flame candle that brings the witches back to life. There's another scene in the movie that shows the witches praising a man dressed as Satan. Openly, they were calling Satan master and praising him. All of this is for a family kids movie. And all of this was just in the first Hocus Pocus movie. But in the second movie, they took it to a whole new level. In the second movie, we saw exactly what Disney's reasoning behind making Hocus Pocus was, to influence the youth into accepting and participating in the occult. In the second movie, we see that the witches have influenced the entire town. The main characters are 3 teen girls who every year perform a ritual in honor of the witches. The teen girls awaken the Sanderson sisters by lighting the black flame candle that was given to her by Gilbert, who is the occult shop owner. Gilbert secretly worships the witches and tricks the girls into lighting the black flame candle. One line that really stuck out to me in this movie was when the teen girls were confronting Gilbert about bringing back the witches. Gilbert said that the witches weren't even evil and that they would fit right in nowadays. This couldn't be more true. The Masonic Order has succeeded in normalizing the occult to the masses. We saw on TikTok alone just how many young people were influenced by the occultic imagery they saw as a child. So many people are openly witches and they teach their beliefs on TikTok. At the very beginning of the movie, they show us the Sanderson sisters becoming witches. This scene was just Hollywood mocking God and religion. In the movie, they humanized the witches by explaining that the Sanderson sisters only became witches due to the church people trying to force her into an arranged marriage. They painted the religious people as the evil ones and the witches as the victims who were just misunderstood. They then show the young witches run into the Forbidden Forest where they met the Mother Witch. This scene is supposed to represent the Garden of Eden and the forbidden fruit, with the Mother Witch acting as the serpent. The Mother Witch gives the book of spells to the Sanderson sisters, and the book represents the forbidden fruit, or the forbidden knowledge. The witches chose to sell their souls and be their own god, using the practice of ritual magic. This movie couldn't be more open with its purpose. By the end of the movie, they show the 3 teen girls as good witches using good magic. We spoke about this before. The practice of ritual magic is forbidden by God. All magic is bad. When it comes to magic, there are no sides. The Masons want to convince the people using their movies to believe the occult has 2 sides that they can choose from. But at the end of the day, it's all forbidden. They even show a blood ritual in the movie when the Sanderson sisters need the blood of their enemy for their spell. At the end of the movie, when the Sanderson sisters did the spell they were trying to do the whole movie, Winfred, the main witch, doesn't realize that the spell came at a steep price. The spell she did gave her ultimate power, but at the price of her sister's souls. This scene was very important, as we often talk about the celebrities who many people believed offered the loved one for their famous success. This scene represents this very thing, the price of admission to have the world. It is no coincidence this movie was released at the very beginning of fall, as this is occultist's favorite time of the year. In the first and second movie, when you heard the witches doing spells, those spells weren't fake. In many movies we watched that has this type of storyline, the directors of these movies usually look for authentic witches and spells to put in their movies. This is what we saw with the Hocus Pocus movie and many others. Time and time again, we see Disney showing us the very same imagery, exposing our children to the world of the occult. Evil is being normalized right in front of our faces, and it's the reason our world just keeps on getting darker and darker. It is strange to think that a movie about witches who want to steal the soul of children is considered a child's movie. I want to make sure you guys are aware of what your children are consuming. Don't just blindly allow your child to be influenced by this evil. Like I always say, we must remember that every day we wake up, our souls are at stake, and we also must remember to help those who can't see the truth find the truth. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Before you guys go, I just want to again thank Scentbird for sponsoring this video. If you're interested in smelling great at a reasonable price, make sure you hit the link in the description and use code TRUTHIS at checkout for 55% off your first month. I just wanted to give a special shout out to the Truth Movement members. I truly appreciate every single one of you. If you'd like to further support the channel, join the Truth Movement, or you can join me on Patreon where I drop exclusive videos monthly. The link would be in the description. Another way you can further support the channel is by checking out the Truthfist store and seeing if you find anything you like. Every purchase you make helps with the funding of Truth Records. The link to the Truthfist store is also in the description. Also, please leave a comment on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. If you like this video, please leave a like as it helps other people find these videos. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram and follow me there. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.